In this video, we're going to take a closer look at the WordPress editor. So back in the editing existing pages video, I talked a bit about how we generally use the WordPress editor for posts and for learn-post types, so courses, lessons, topics. And we do that just because usually advanced layouts aren't needed and it's simpler, a lot simpler to work with the WordPress editor. I'd also shown in that previous video editing a blog post, in fact creating a new blog post, and how we did that with the featured image plus the editor with very simple content. So let's take a look at the WordPress editor again. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in first. Let's take a look at what we already did with the blog, and we can talk about how these are set up using the WordPress editor. So I'm just going to jump in and click on Edit Post, which will take me to the back end. And what I'm seeing now is the WordPress editor. Of course, the alternative is the Divi Builder, which is what you see here. And you can see when I switch, then it essentially converts it to a big text module. So that's the difference between the two. Let's switch. It's going to say I'm going to lose it. And there we're back to what it was originally. So this is the WordPress editor. And you can see there are a number of controls up here. So first we're able to control the style. So if it's a heading, then we would choose heading, and we can do it this way. There are formatting options here, including bulleted lists and numbered lists and block quotes. We can also change the alignment here, add a hyperlink. What you may want to do is click that one just to make a few more options available. So this exposes some Divi functions that could be helpful. Just if you're looking to add something really quick without having to resort to the Divi Builder, there are some options in there. And then again, some additional formatting options down here, including ones for if you are pasting something in, it's easier to paste it as text, and then you don't get a lot of strange formatting being added. So that is essentially the editor. There is a visual view. There's also a text view. So the visual view also does have some buttons up here. So if you are wanting to add media, you can click on that button and just drag images in, and then you can choose them by clicking on it and then inserting it into the post. We're able to add H5P modules really quickly. For this to work though, the modules have to have been previously set up in the system. So you'd have to create the module first, then once it's created you can go back to the post, whatever it may be, and add it using the button. So this inserts the shortcode for you. Same thing with forms. You would need to create the form first, and then you control behaviors from here when inserting it. So what I want to do now then is I want to show you creating a new post. And again, we primarily use this for blog pages and anything related to course pages. So course post types, lessons, and topics. So for that, I do want to skip over then to e-learning. Where's e-learning? Here it is. And let's go ahead and add a new lesson to the one that to what already exists in there. So I'm going to call this editor example lesson. Now, of course, we can easily drop text in. I'm going to add another heading. So I'm going to make this heading 2, and I'm going to add an intro. So I'm just going to add that. And then maybe I want to add a simple, I'm going to add a video. Now in my clipboard right now, I have the URL of a YouTube video. So I'm going to paste that in to show you how to insert a video. And it works the same way if you're using Vimeo or Wistia as well. So I'm just going to click paste. And you saw the URL for a second, and then WordPress automatically takes care of embedding it. There's nothing you need to do. It will look fine. If I switch to the text view, you can see this is really all that it is. There's the heading here with intro, and it's got the heading tags in HTML. Then plain text, this introduces the rest of the lesson, and then we just paste the URL. And just make sure that when you're pasting the URL, if you want it to automatically embed, it should be on its own line. So leave some space around that, and I'm just going to say in the text view now, You can see there are controls in here. These are for columns, for example. This adds the HTML for you, so opening and closing tags. If I wanted bold or strong text, then I can say this concludes the introduction, and I can click that again. Oops, I need a period. And it adds the closing tag for me. So this is the text view then, and if I switch back to visual view, you can see that it takes care of making this bold. So let's see what that looks like now. Again, this is a lesson, but of course, because it's a lesson, I need to change a couple of things, which we'll talk more about when we get into the overview for creating a course. So I'm going to use that one. I'm going to take off comments, and the rest is fine. So let's go ahead and publish that. And then, of course, when it's finished publishing, we can click the permalink here. If I wanted to change the permalink, I could do that and just click Edit. And I will do that. And there we go with the post title here, the breadcrumbs for it, the heading that I added. So this is in H2, heading 2. This is the plain content, plain text content. So this is if you manage the body styles. In the theme customizer, you'd see those changes reflected here. Here's the video. You can see that it is automatically sizing to the appropriate size, and it is responsive. So if someone's using it on mobile or something else, they'd see a video size or a video player here that is appropriate to the context. It would fit in the available space for their device. And then my bold text is down below, and you can see somebody can just click this, and it starts the video. So really simple to set up. And again, it works the same way if you're using Wistia or Vimeo. So that's essentially how the editor works. It's the same editor across anything you're using, whether it's on blog posts or courses or lessons or topics or even other things like events. It's the same WordPress editor across the site. So if you prefer working with the editor as opposed to something more complex like the builder, the WordPress editor is there, and it's simple to use. And hopefully this video gets you started with how to use it on your site.